waiting for a bus that's not coming for you. I started working at West Allis Memorial Center in 2003, and at the same time, I held a joint position at the University of Illinois in Chicago. So I commuted to Chicago 2 days a week on the Amtrak, and then went from the Amtrak station in Chicago to the university hospital by either the L or the bus. It was very efficient. At the same time, I was really happy because I live in Bayview, and I took the bus to West Allis Memorial, which isn't far from here, and it took me about 45 minutes to get to the hospital. However, a couple years ago, that route, Route 53, was cut. So instead of a 45-minute commute, I now have an hour-and-a-half commute with a long transfer wait without any shelter at the transfer corner. When I use public transportation from Milwaukee to Chicago to the hospital, they have heat. My commute door to door, my door in Milwaukee to the door at the hospital in Chicago took me 2 hours. It takes me from my Milwaukee home in Bayview to the hospital in West Allis, an hour and a half, 9 miles, an hour and a half commute. I mean, does that make sense? I've dealt with the problem by biking to work or driving, adding one more car on our freeway. When I'm inclined, I take the bus on one route, and then I have to walk another 30 minutes to get to the hospital. I'm really lucky because I have these options available to me. But most of us in our community don't have these options available to us. Another story. I work with 2 women. I spent a lot of time training them. We provide very specialized behavioral and medical treatment to people in need. And one woman lived in River West, and she took the bus to work all the time. But she had to move to Whitefish Bay because of she needed to be close to aging parents. Her too, it takes an hour and a half to get to West Allis, so she drives. She drives to work now. But the real shame is that I work with a woman, her name is Brenda. She lives in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. And she's tried to use the freeway flyer to the Pettit Center at 84th Street here, and then take the 84th Street bus to Lincoln Avenue and then walk over to the hospital. She's tried several times, but the transfer from the Pettit Center, where the freeway flyer drops her off, and the bus route to the hospital is so punitive that it's just impossible. So she's driving to work now. The shame is that because of her drive, it's arduous and the bus is impossible, she's deciding to leave her job at West Allis. So our community is losing this highly trained individual because of a lack of appropriate transit. The ironic thing is that her husband, who has a faculty position at Marquette University, takes the freeway flyer from Delafield all the way downtown at Marquette. So he manages for him, but not for her. I don't see how this is really good for our city, to lose talented people, to have people waiting on transfer spots for 40 minutes. I cannot believe that any city that aspires to an economic and cultural vibrancy can do so without a strong and efficient public transit system. We need RTA now. We need it.
RTA! 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 RTA!